Hi guys, today we are going to cover lesson 6 in your new book that has modules 6 and 7. This is lesson 6 and I am on page 33. This is a line plot, so you might recognize it because it looks really similar to the line plot that we made together. If you remember last week when I brought you over into small groups and you had to measure your little stick, and then we made an X for each of you to show like how long your stick was. And then we made our own line plot. Excuse me. So this looks really similar to that. Now, if you remember, some of you, I was telling you that when you see a line plot, it looks a little bit like a number line, okay? And that it's a line and has numbers. And then there are little X's above it to show how many people or how many things are that size. It's usually to measure the length of something. So if you remember when we did it together, we made our line plot together, it was because you were measuring the length of a stick. Or do you like that little foam stick? For this one, they're measuring the height of children. So again, it's something that has to do with size. So usually line plots have something to do with measuring size. So we're going to look at this one. This one, they were measuring the height of children on a 3rd grade basketball team. And they are measuring the kids in inches. So if you look across, for instance, this would be like whoever was 51 inches. This over here would be like if they were 53.5 inches. This would show how many kids were like 55 inches. Now, and if you think back to when we made the line plot together, each one of these X's equals one person. Okay, so just keep that in mind. It says, Coach Harris measures the heights of the children on his 3rd grade basketball team in inches. The heights are shown on the line plot below. A asks how many children are on the team, and then how do you know? Well, always look at the key. If you're trying to figure out how many people were voting for something or how many people they were looking at, look at this key. So like this one says X equals one child. That means every time you see an X, that's one person. Okay. So, hold on a second, let me let it, it's kind of blurry. Here we go. Okay, so if each X is one person and they want to know how many children there are, you just count your X's. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So there's 15 X's. So there are 15 children on the team. And then how do you know? Well, how did we figure that out? We counted the X's. I counted each X, which stands for one person. Okay, just like when we did ours. B, how many children are less, I'm going to underline that keyword, than 53 inches tall? So you need to, less, not 53 or less, just less than 53. So find 53 inches, which is right here. They want to know how many are less than 53. So not 53 and less, so you don't count 53. How many are less than 53? So here, there's this one, so that means anything below that, shorter than 53. 1, well, that's shorter than 53. 1, these are 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so basically you just have to find 53, look at anything that was shorter than that, and count those kids. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Six children are less than 53 inches, period. IN period means inches. C. Coach Harris says that the most common, we'll talk about that word, The most common height for the children on his team is 53.5 inches. Is he right? Explain your answer. Now, if something is common, and I know we've talked about this before in other things, at least maybe one of your reading groups, but if something is common, that means it happens the most. So for instance, the most, if we took a vote for, when we did our vote for the favorite fruit in our classroom, and most people picked oranges, that means the most commonly picked fruit in our class was oranges. So if it's the most common, it happens the most, okay? So which one is the most common? The most common is going to be whichever one has the most, okay? Now, he says the most common height is 53.5. So I'm going to look. 53.5 has 3 students, or 3 children, okay? Now, if that one's the most common, that means that one's going to have the most. Let's see if there's any that have any more than 3. I don't see any that have any more than 3, but I do see this one, 52, that has the same. It has 1, 2, 3, and this one has 1, 2, 3. So when he says that the most common is 53.5,